Let's hear it for Andrew Gottlieb.
Good evening. I'll say it one more time. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you feeling tonight?
Good.
Awesome. Well, we're all here to support an awesome, wonderful, amazing organization that does things to help people who have gone through something, right? How many of you have ever gone through something?
Yes.
Yeah? Am I the only one in the house? Okay. Well, a few years ago, as the most read there, I went through a very painful divorce. And, yeah, Jesus, that's right. And I called on Jesus as well. And it was during that moment, that very painful moment, that God birthed something in me that I'd like to share with you all tonight, if that's okay with you.
Go ahead.
I'd like to share with you a spoken word piece. I do inspirational spoken words. Hopefully that's okay with you. But this piece is called Treasure in the Dark. I can't get inside the mind of a newborn, but I suspect the reason that cute little bundle of joy is crying her heart out, it's been forced to move from a place of comfort and familiarity into somewhere that's just totally unknown. Come with me for a sec. Sit back, relax, but buckle up, because you and I, we're going on a journey. I want you to picture this. For 9 months, this little one has been sitting up in the snuggly warmth of her mother's womb, protected from the cold, harsh reality of the real world. Matter of fact, to her, this is the real world. But suddenly, and without warning, this once predictable, reliable, indestructible world starts to crumble all around her. It's like she's caught in some kind of vortex that's literally sucking everything out from underneath her. And her walls, they're violently collapsing and moving, and the once regular cadence of ambient noise now becomes syncopated, hurried, and filled with foreboding. It's like the little gal is listening to her own personal sound. Something's about to happen. But what? And when? Then, suddenly, a tremendously bright light shines right at her, and the now violently moving walls seem to be pushing her in this direction. The place that once cared for and nurtured her now seems to be turning on her, delivering her up to this thing with the bright light. As she's being pushed closer and closer against her will, the noises become louder and louder still, and then there's this giant metal object that appears out of nowhere, and it snaps onto her head and starts yanking her from the place she once called home. Now she's being pushed and pulled down a cramped, tight corridor where she's never been. She can hardly breathe. And just when she thinks she won't survive, a rush of cold air passes over her. There's no more the warm blanket-like feeling of flesh. Instead, there's a funny-looking man with a head 3 times the size of hers that's just poking and prodding her this way and that. Oh, and the paparazzi. Lights, camera, action. Wait! Don't these weird-looking people know I don't have any clothes on? As she looks up again, she looks around, and she thinks to herself, this is it. It's all over. And with one loud will, she belts out a series of cries. And she sees all your smiling faces. What's the matter with you people? Don't you know what just happened? Don't you realize that my world has crumbled and I've lost everything? How can the world be smiling when I'm crying, man? The answer's simple. You see, they have a different perspective. Matter of fact, they have the right perspective. what seems to be the end for this little one is really just the beginning. She's been born. So, as you lay there in a bundle, on the floor, in the cold, harsh reality of the new world in which you find yourself broken, dreams crushed, love lost, tossed to and fro, physically, emotionally, riding a seesaw to a new low, leaving, escaping, running, fleeing, and finally letting that knucklehead go. Go ahead and open up your mouth and belt out a series of cries, and you'll find that God comes and he scoops you up with his great big loving arms, and then he draws you closer into his heart and his lips to your ears, and he whispers.
Say it.
It's okay, my child. You've just been born. As a woman, in the midst of the birth pangs of labor, know that your pain is just a process. Not the final outcome. It's a means to an end and not your destination. So hold on, my friend. Hold on. This ain't the end. Nah, the best is still yet to come. See, this is treasure in the dark.